Greetings, Hoodoo family. I hope this video finds you doing well. I want to invite you to go on a special walk with me and let's look at a very small urban park and see what type of hoodoo work that we can do in this little natural environment. Of course, it is man-made, but let's go. Family, I am on my way to a nearby local park. I've been here before, but this time I just want to take another look at it and see what we can learn from it. Last time I was here, all of this was grown up. You couldn't even see beyond it. So I see that they have cleared all of this brush that was once here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of trash still here. But it's a beautiful park with a man-made pond. Just a nice, peaceful place to come and have a peace of mind, to come and meditate and relax. I call this a pond. To me, it is a pond, but they call it a lake. It is man-made. First off, I do remember this little grill. And when looking at hoodoo work, this little grill is actually a great place to do burning herb rituals. I mean, there is no table near it. It's just a standalone grill by itself. You still want to use your own fireproof like ceramic bowl or plate or pot to put your herbs in and just sit it on top of that grill. It's just a good safe place to do some burning. So I just wanted to clarify that. Well, look what we have here. Some poison ivy, very young poison ivy growing up this tree. Great place to put some enemy petitions. Remember the video I showed you about using the poison ivy vine to do a petition against your enemy? Well, here I found in this little man-made park an excellent resource. When I first moved here years ago, there used to be a fountain at this end of the park, and it was really nice to see. And there you can see where the fountain was. And you can see the concrete base or wall on this side of it. So I'm on the little bridge and you can see down in the water it's pretty much stagnant. It's not moving. And when we look at hoodoo, what is this water good for? This water that's not moving, that's stagnant, shallow, this is actually good for left-hand work. You wouldn't use this water to do uncrossing because it doesn't have enough power. So this water is where you would throw jars with petitions in them against someone that you want to harm, someone that you're trying to put bad luck on. That's what this water would be used for. You would definitely not want to, like I said, try to get rid of things or spells, curses off of you with this stagnant water. In fact, if you did that, this is just going to perpetuate whatever has been put on you. This water is for ruin. It's for decay. Got some cattails growing. They like to grow in marshy water. Lots of garbage. If I were doing left-hand work, this right here would be the perfect place. Just spotted a mother tree back there in the distance. Right there. I'm not going to go down off in there, but that tree is nourishing all these other small trees that you see around it. And it is very tall. In fact, looking at the leaves, that looks like a tulip poplar tree. Yes, it is. It's a tulip poplar tree. And there's all kinds of little trees around it. Tulip poplar trees are very domineering. They take over and they go straight up. They just shoot straight up in the air. The canopy is way high. They're just a very strong tree. They're a hardwood, but not as tough as some of the other hardwood trees. But here we have a mother tree. And this is a perfect place to put a nature altar, to put offerings, to ask favors. This is a great place. I'm going to remember this. Try to zoom in closer on it for you so you can see. It is so tall and majestic. Sorry for the camera work, y'all. I am not a pro, but I love nature and just wanted to get out here and share this with you. Here we have a tree that fell down. It looks like a tulip poplar as well, looking at the bark. But you can see that poison ivy that was growing along, that when that poison ivy wraps around these tulip poplar trees, they make them very rigid. So when the wind blows, these trees are very easy to fall over. And those of you who have my Hoodoo basic training book, you know that we don't use stuff like this for hoodoo. Now, you can probably use it for other types of nature work, but for hoodoo, we don't use stuff like that. And you can see that tree over there in the distance that toppled over. They just can't stand up to the wind when those poison ivy vines take over them and kind of compromise them. But we don't pick things off of dead trees. We want the spirit of the tree. And when they're laying on the ground like this, they don't have their spirit anymore. Some of you are probably saying, well, how does Huldah know that this is a tulip poplar tree? Well, you can tell by the shape of its leaf. If you look at it, it looks like a little cat head. It's the shape of a cat head. That's the telltale sign of a tulip poplar tree. But also, you can look at the bark and you can see the raised part of the bark is dark, but if you look in between at the grooves, it's very light. This is very deeply rigid bark of the tulip poplar. And this is the tulip poplar flower. It never got a chance to bloom due to the fluctuating weather, but they usually grow into these large yellow tulip-shaped flowers that have this sweet nectar that in traditional hoodoo, we use that nectar to restore our youth, to maintain our beauty. It's kind of like a fountain of youth in a flower. So there are some hoodoo works that is done with the flower itself. None of the trees I noticed had any flowers blossoming. These trees were friends to our ancestors because I've always heard that High John, when a slave was getting ready to be whipped, would take their spirit and place it in a tree such as the tulip poplar so that they didn't get beat down spiritually, just physically. And then their spirit would go back in them. But some of these trees, such as these, have witnessed atrocities to our ancestors and have showed favor to us through their healing properties. We use tulip poplar in hoodoo for calming nerves, anxiety, but also calming the spirit, to strengthen our spirit and to calm our spirit, to calm our nerves. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a little hole in the bottom of that base of this tree. That is a great place for also hiding enemy work. You've got the poison ivy growing all around it, the young vines growing up it. That is a perfect place. If you wanted to do an enemy jar, that right there is a perfect place to hide it and leave it in nature, leave it alone, and let it go on forever. Poison ivy is just growing all over this little park. I mean, anyone who specializes in left-hand work, this is your play. This is your playground right here. This is your playground. Okay, I'm just going to declare this park Tulip Poplar Kingdom. It is just dominated. This is a whole stand of tulip poplar trees, and they're so tall, straight, and majestic. Just a beauty to behold. Coming back across, just made a big loop through the park. Yeah, all this, you can see that storm drain sign. Not sure if you can see it, but it's right over there. But this water is still not good to be used, as I've said repeatedly, for right hand work, only left hand. You probably could use, let me show you. You probably could use some of this stagnant water right here in your war bottles when you need some stagnant water. I would even use some of this in making jinx balls against enemies. As far as the grass, you've got some dandelion growing in here, which is very helpful, not only to eat, but it's just very good for good health tonic when you're ill, drinking the tea. But I wouldn't dare use anything off the ground in this park because people bring their dogs down here and they piss all over the place. So it's not very clean plants here to use, especially for internal use or even on your hoodoo works, because you don't really know what it's been contaminated with. But this is definitely a nice little place just to come and watch the geese. And there's sometimes you have your ducks, you have your I've seen a couple of, I think it was pelicans here before. But it's just a great place to come and meditate, pray, maybe do your burning herb rituals, and just some mental focusing. So certainly a resource, but it also goes to show you that you don't have to live near a big old forest. A lot of urban places do have these type parks, and I encourage you to go visit them and take advantage of them. Even though they're man-made, they do have some benefits to it. Okay, so I've come out of the park and walking back out in the cars in the neighborhoods. Just wanted to state to you, these trees that you see lining this sidewalk, you don't want to use these because they use chemicals on these trees, even the bigger ones that you see over there. These trees are growing in a stressed environment with all the car pollution, all the noise, the chemicals that are used on them to keep them in control. You don't want to use stuff like this in hoodoo work because remember, we work with the spirit of things. Their spirit is stressed. It's not suitable for hoodoo work. Same with these bushes and stuff. Though they look tempting to use because they're right there, they're not going to give you that same spirit as some that are kind of growing in a more natural environment. Family, thank you for taking this walk with me. I hope that this has been helpful to you. And I really just want to encourage you to get out into nature, no matter how that might be for you, urban or rural, and just experience, go on an adventure and see what's growing in your area. Hoodoo is about nature. It's about working with nature. So you should be able to find something around you that you can connect with. So family, don't forget to go check out my books on my website if you would like to increase your knowledge about hoodoo. So I will see you in the next video. Keep on building positive and good things in your life.